Welcome to AI News in 10, your top AI and tech news podcast in about 10 minutes. AI tech is amazing and is changing the world fast. For example, this entire podcast is curated and generated by AI using my and my kids' cloned voices. Here's what's new in AI and tech for Tuesday, April 7th, 2026. A major franchise jumps to PlayStation with fresh features. Sony flips the switch on this month's PS Plus lineup. A cyber intel rundown that matters if you build or buy software. A European SaaS player maps its enterprise AI strategy. And an investor-heavy conference zeroes in on the power and infrastructure behind generative AI. Let's get into it. But first, let's hear a word from our sponsors.
Need elite developers fast? Elite Coders connects you with rigorously vetted senior engineers in 24 to 48 hours. Staff augmentation, dedicated teams, or full project delivery, we've got you covered. Visit elitecoders.co to get started today.
Now, let's dive into today's stories. First up, a gaming story with real tech ripples. Starfield officially lands on PS5 today, bundled with a paid story expansion and a free update that overhauls space travel. Beyond the headline that a former Xbox exclusive is now on Sony hardware, there are smart platform touches. The PS5 version taps adaptive triggers, the light bar mirrors ship and player health, and touchpad gestures speed up map and scanner access. Clear examples of how haptics and UI can change the moment-to-moment feel. Pre-orders opened weeks ago, but both disc and digital editions are live now, with the expansion co-timed for day one. Engadget also flagged a small date shift and a set of launch day tweaks, useful if you're deciding where to play, or just curious how studios tune the same game for different ecosystems. Staying in the PlayStation world, Sony's April PlayStation Plus lineup unlocks today. On deck, Lords of the Fallen for PS5, plus a trio of remastered Tomb Raider titles, solid tentpoles for anyone cycling through a backlog. If you're a subscriber on any tier, you can add them to your library starting today, and keep them as long as your membership stays active. Engadget also noted Sword Art Online, Fractured Daydream joining this wave, rounding out a month that leans into action RPGs and nostalgia in equal measure. One practical note for the household IT managers out there: big downloads and day one patches can crunch bandwidth if you're juggling multiple consoles or a metered plan. Now pivot from pixels to protections. Digital Forensics Magazine's roundup for April 7th is a quick but weighty scan for security teams and builders. Two takeaways stand out. First, incident responders are untangling a payments and transport disruption reported yesterday, a reminder that complex dependencies can fail in ways that look like cyber incidents before attribution is even clear. Second, Europe is moving forward on formalizing digital identity security and certification language, tightening the arena where AI-driven identity verification and fraud detection tools operate. For AI product leads, both threads point to the same operational truth. Third-party and identity layers are becoming the highest leverage risk surfaces to harden, log, and test, especially as agentic systems start touching credentials and payment rails by design. Story 3 takes us into enterprise AI strategy. Paris-listed Sidetrade says it's unveiling its O2C Intelligence 2030 plan today, positioning the company to lead the agentic AI push in order to cash. The company's disclosure last week telegraphed the reveal for April 7th. Now we'll see how that translates into products and metrics. A few numbers to watch as new features roll out. The company reported €11.04 million in 2025 annual contract value from new customers, split between $4.32 million in new annual recurring revenue and $6.71 million in services bookings. If agentic workflows, autonomous dunning, dispute resolution triage, and predictive cash forecasting deliver measurable days sales outstanding improvements, expect that revenue mix to tilt more heavily towards software over services. It's a microcosm of a macro trend. CFO stacks are becoming one of AI's stickiest footholds across the enterprise. Before we continue, here's a quick message from our sponsors.
This episode is brought to you by Family GPT, the AI chat platform actually designed for kids. If your children are curious about ChatGPT, but you're worried about what they might see, Family GPT gives you full parental controls, content filtering, and the ability to align responses with your family's values, whether Christian, Muslim, Jewish, secular, and many more. Monitor every conversation, set usage limits, and let your kids explore AI safely. No ads, no data selling, complete privacy. Sign up free at familygpt.chat. That's familygpt.chat.
All right, let's get back to it. Story 4 is about the pipes, literally. The Powering the AI Revolution virtual conference runs today, with infrastructure, power, cooling, and connectivity front and center. Two AI-adjacent companies on the docket show how broad AI infrastructure has become. Cloudastructure, which builds AI-powered video surveillance and remote guarding, is appearing this morning, a reminder that not all AI compute sits in a hyperscale rack. There's a real edge footprint, with camera data, model updates, and retention rules to juggle. An insurance mobility startup Roadzen is slotted for an 8:30 a.m. Eastern session on how its AI pipelines reduce claims costs and sharpen underwriting, underscoring that the business case for AI is as much about throughput, data connectivity, and latency as it is about raw model IQ. For investors and operators alike, the through line is the same. The constraints are power availability, heat rejection, and network design, not just GPU supply. We'll close with one more that blends culture and compute. If you track platform exclusivity as a strategy lever, today's Starfield jump to PS5 is a signal worth watching beyond the game itself. The move lands the same day Sony flips its PS Plus lineup live, effectively stacking two engagement spikes, one for a massive science fiction sandbox and one for subscription value, on a single date. Publishers and platform owners are choreographing these calendars to smooth peak loads and amplify discovery. That has downstream implications for cloud gaming capacity reservations, content delivery network routing, and even the scheduling of firmware updates and maintenance windows. The engineering lift behind a simple content calendar is getting heavier as AI upscalers, frame generation techniques, and cloud streaming all try to claim GPU time in the same week. Today is a tidy case study. Quick recap. Starfield hits PS5 today with a feature-rich port and a co-timed update. Sony's April PS Plus games unlock for subscribers. A digital forensics scan highlights how payments, transport, and identity are tightening the security screws. Sidetrade lays out an agentic AI plan for order to cash, and investors drill into the less sexy but vital world of AI power, cooling, and connectivity. We'll keep tracking how these threads, content cadence, enterprise AI, security posture, and physical infrastructure interlock as spring releases and policy milestones roll on this week. Thanks for listening. And a quick disclaimer, this podcast was generated and curated by AI using my and my kids' cloned voices. If you want to know how I do it or want to do something similar, reach out to me at emad@ainewsin10.com. That's AI news in 10.com. See you all tomorrow.